Ahmet Keser. He's a professor of political science and international relations at Hasan Kalyoncu University. Always good to speak to you, Prof. Firstly, your reaction to this breaking news and to this prisoner exchange deal we're seeing right now.
Thank you very much, Yashini, for having me first of all. Of course, this is a kind of goodwill gesture from the parties, and it can be read as a reflection of the fixing the ongoing conflictual relations between the countries as well. And also it can be read as a, let's say, the protection of the efficiency of the Turkish balanced diplomacy. For long, because Turkey indicated that there should be a country which is able to continue to talk with Russia as well. And now we see that the mediation capability of such a country is saving the people's lives, because even saving one life is very important under these ongoing conflict situations. In one side, we see that the world is ongoing in a chaotic environment, and on the other side, we see that people are hungry for these kind of good news. And I cannot imagine how happy the families will be when they meet the loved ones, of course. So this may help also to fix the relations between all the exchanging countries as well. So that is a good step and a kind of historical landmark, which shows also the success and efficiency of the Turkish diplomatic efforts in the region. This should be, I think, read in this way.
And Ahmet, this is of course not the first time that Türkiye has used its negotiation abilities. We saw with the war in Ukraine that is ongoing, of course, Türkiye brokering that grain deal that was so important not just to the region but on a global scale too.
For sure. For long, Türkiye continues to go on these kind of efforts and also try to support and motivate all the conflicting parties to come together, to negotiate, to find sustainable, peaceful solutions for the conflicts in the region, usually. And now we see that step by step, collecting the gifts of those kind of policies in the region, if not ending the conflict totally, this is a kind of step for fixing the relations as well just before the U.S. elections, upcoming U.S. elections, because it's a kind of gift to Biden administration as well, because maybe Kamala Harris as the vice president of the U.S., it may help for them to win the hearts and minds of the people as well. So that's why I think Turkey's negotiation capabilities and good relations with all the conflicting parties somehow provide opportunities to have sustainable, peaceful results in the conflicting situation. We hope the same situation happens in Gaza situation as well, to end up the conflicts in the Middle East as well, and to find a real, stable, sustainable solution for Russian-Ukrainian conflict in the future.
How, given all that you've just said now, how does this also affect the ongoing relationship between the United States and Türkiye?
As we know, for long there are, of course, both countries are NATO allied, but even in this case, there are some very significant issues which they disagree, especially related to the US policies, especially in the Middle East region, for example. US approach to the PKK-PYD structure, US approach to Israel's attacks on Gaza structure, and all these kind of issues are the main conflicting areas between the two countries. So I think Turkey's these efforts may bring them together and bring them a kind of understanding each other better, so that continue to talk is the first step to reach negotiation table and to find solutions for the ongoing problems in the region. That's why it's a kind of historical landmark. We can read that, and it's an important step. I think it opens other gaps and door for other problems, to solve other problems peacefully as well.
When we look at how this all came about, and I'm just looking at the statement that was given by Turkish authorities, and this massive exchange involved 26 people from the prisons of 7 different countries. Those 7 countries: the US, Russia, Germany, Poland, Slovenia, Norway, and Belarus. That is a lot of negotiations behind the scenes, and I would imagine that a lot of diplomacy having to take place and security issues involved with all of that too.
For sure. At least we can easily understand that secret services of the countries and also Minister of Foreign Affairs, the diplomatic missions were highly engaged in this progress. First, the baseline and the framework was prepared by secret services maybe and the security agencies. And then the diplomatic missions and Minister of Foreign Affairs they intervened the negotiations and they found a solution for this fruitful solution could be reached at the moment. So I think at least maybe tens of negotiations and meetings, phone calls, etc. took place behind this one because how the names of those 26 people from 7 different countries, engagement with diplomatic relations with 7 different diplomatic missions and ministries. This is a long progress ongoing. But we can see that from the ex-Eastern countries like Belarus and Russia, and also from Western countries like Norway, Germany, United States. So it includes a lot of nations. Now I think at least 7 nations and all their allies are happy with the results, and that can be understood as a kind of relief or goodwill, which may be good news for the upcoming solutions of the problems as well. So that's why I think diplomatic and political efforts should be given significance and importance before going into conflict in any region. We can see that political and diplomatic efforts can reach solution if you rely on them really.
Professor, part of Turkey's foreign relations strategy is to hold types of negotiations, is to speak to people in the region. But is that also because of the actual location, geographic location of Türkiye and the many countries on its borders and the regional conflicts that affect the country so much?
We can read, of course, geopolitical location, the cultural proximity. Turkey, as culturally, belongs both to the Western parties, Western actors, and also Eastern actors, to the Middle East as well. So who shares cultural proximity both sides? For example, let me give an example with my diplomatic background. When I was in the OSCE mission, I was almost the only one who has the ability to talk with both the Eastern countries and Western countries as well, and whose thoughts are welcomed by both parties. So Turkey's position is exactly describing that situation, because it is as a member of the NATO alliance and as a candidate of European Union, which have good relations with Western countries as well, even we have some problems, and also which has good relations with Eurasian countries as well, including Russia and China, trying to fix new relations, going into new projects with them. So all these cultural and geopolitical issues make the baseline and the background behind this one, and which makes Turkey the real bridge between the cultures, not even the geographies.
That certainly is an advantage for Türkiye. And given your diplomatic background that you're speaking about, Prof, when it comes to the actual prisoners, how do countries decide who to exchange and who to have involved in this? Because we're just getting a few more details about who some of those prisoners are. And the German news magazine Der Spiegel is saying that as part of that exchange, Vadim Krasikov, who's identified by German officials as a colonel in Russia's FSB intelligence service, is part of that prisoner swap, and he was serving a life sentence for the 2019 murder of a Kremlin opponent. So it's interesting how countries decide who or which prisoners to then exchange as part of such a deal.
Of course, this is one of the very prominent and so important point of the negotiations, because As you may imagine, the mutual relations and bilaterally impactful relations are very important between the countries, and so that the ranks, previous positions, the importance attained by the countries to the persons, their ranks, these are very important. So the countries seek almost equality when they exchange concerning the ranks, positions, posts, and also the crimes accused of those people attained. So this goes on during the negotiations, and if you exchange this person, we will provide this one. The other party may come with a new offer. This, of course, takes a long progress, but usually the balance or equilibrium is the basis to reach an agreement on this issue regarding the rank, position, and the importance attained by the host countries to their own citizens.
Professor Ahmet Keser, always good to get your analysis. Thank you so much for explaining that to us live from Ankara.